So, humanists could preempt Christmas from the Christians, right? It can become a humanist holiday rather than a Christian holiday. And we can give, as I said, gifts to each other. On the other hand, there's a serious side of Christmas that I'm really concerned about. It's a holiday, like Thanksgiving, that emphasizes family. And that has two sides. Not everybody has the nice family that Jen was talking about. You know, I kind of felt envious of her, actually. I would have loved to have a family like that, but I don't. We're going to get together for 2 or 3 hours with my family, because that's the thing to do. And after it's done, we're basically done for another year. So there's a lot of people that feel lonely. The suicide rate goes up during Christmas, and people go to hospital, etc. So that's what I want to just say, is that there is this dark side to Christmas, because everybody assumes that every family is great and happy, and that's not the case.
Yeah, no, that's a really good point. Like, I don't really know what the solution is to that, because I had no experience with it. Like, I do have a good family life, and I feel really bad for people who don't. But so it's, I guess the key would be to celebrate it the way you want to celebrate it. You know, do something you want to do. If you don't want to go meet up with your family, don't. Go on a vacation. Go, pick a book you really want to read and read it. Like, just celebrate it the way that would make you happy.
Maybe the wall Christmas. Maybe the wall Christmas, but
read whatever you want. But yeah, I guess the solution would be to just find out what makes you happy and use the time to be happy as best you can. I think it's important.
No. Tells about everything.
Yeah, I know what Jenny wants. While I appeared to support Justin at the outset, I think the point you have to remember, Justin, is that there are commercial interests that overlay everything. There are union contracts, there are family law reform things where parents visit and children visit, and they designate the word Christmas. So, as Jen was saying, Christmas is a designated holiday. Changing it to another time of the year is just totally and utterly impractical. The commercial chaos would be too much. So I swing over to support the archaeologist in saying, you know what, do with it as you will, because there are tremendous commercial interests involved. We just couldn't possibly, because it's highly idealized, and we can't go back and rewrite history.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I mean, I guess you're kind of giving a pessimistic interpretation. It's probably a realistic one, but I'm not sure that the solution is to continue to appease those commercial interests. But on the other hand, yeah, we're not going to kill them overnight. The more we emphasize a single period of time, though, the more we, reinforce this notion that we've all got to stomp over each other's heads to get the newest doll or whatever the fad is. I'm not sure that's a good way to go either. But Jenny would probably say, well, reinvent it again and take out the commercialization or the de-emphasize the gift giving or something like that.
Yeah, like I don't emphasize the commercialization either. Like again, I have to keep using examples of my family because that's where I'm from. But like, we have a $30 limit, and I only buy presents for my immediate family. So I spend about $100 a year, and all my friends know I'm not going to buy them presents. I don't get into these moral dilemmas of like, well, they hate me if I don't buy this, and I do think the commercialization has gone way too far, and I would like it to be more emphasized on having fun rather than spending money.
I was wondering, talking to a friend about this earlier, does anybody know if they made a documentary examining the commercial aspects of Christmas? Like just how big a business it is and just what kind of chaos is caused every year? Yeah, they have, what's it called?
I forgot the name,
but there's something out there.
It's a reality. So past 20 since the 80s, I'm saying.
And it's been documented?
It's documented. It's really documented. It's why we're just
Merry Christmas, everybody.
You have.
Burn the witch! I have a question for Jenny. I'm pro-Christmas, but your way of method of discussion doesn't actually prove that Christmas is to be celebrated or not. And I think what you should mention is that what's unique about Christmas. And what is unique about Christmas is integrity of the whole nation or whatever that is. And if you think about it, it becomes a Christian holiday anyway. But you may have a comment on this.
So the question is, what makes Christmas special?
Unique.
Unique?
Not special.
I think it's unique because it's a full week that most people get off.
So you can have it anywhere.
No, because it's entrenched within that 1 week. So technically you could have a week off anywhere and have it and make it special, but that hasn't been our history. So that's not our reality. And I think it's important to have it in winter because it's depressing and we need parties when it's depressing. So I think having it in the dead of winter when almost everyone around you is in a celebratory mood when the weather is depressing makes it better than it would have been if it was in, say, mid-July or something like that. So I think it's a time for holidays.
Yeah, I will concede that, inconsistent as it is with my prior statement about moving it to like the spring, I think there's a good reason why a lot of celebrations, a lot of so-called festivals of lights coincide with this period of time. It is, the shortest days of the year leading up to December 21st. And then with the days starting to get longer in the new year, it does offer, I'll concede this to you, a good symbol of renewal and rebirth and all that sort of thing. So I don't know why I'm saying that, because I'm arguing on your side. This is amicable, so I'll just stop there.
Hi, well, I was just wondering for the longest time, I'm glad you brought up commercialism in this holiday. I was wondering for the longest time what would need to have to do to change the focus from having a commercialized system where families are more encouraged to buy stuff instead of creating a new tradition, perhaps to create what the gift that you give instead of buying it, instead, rather even if it was a card or a toy or something.
I think that's something that families really have to decide to do. You don't have to buy things. This is a problem a lot of people seem to have, where it's just like, oh, it's on TV, I must own it. And I think it's important to get past that. I've probably made more Christmas gifts than I've bought in my life. We used to have elaborate treasure hunts to find your gift on Christmas, and it would take you half the day to find it. And I love stuff like that. I think, I once gave my brother I got a whole bunch of little, I was like 5, but I got a whole bunch of little dollar store thingies, put them in balloons, blew up the balloons, put it on a dartboard, hid the dartboard, and gave him darts as a present, and made him find his present, pop the darts to get his gifts. And it takes up half of Christmas. It's so much fun. So I really wish people would emphasize that more than I want to own this TV. But I don't know what the solution is to get people to move in that direction, because you can't force happiness.
Yeah, my biggest problem with this question is with all the religions in the world, it's hard to come up with the method of shifting global focus for all the families in the world that would to choose to do this differently.
That's true. You can't force people to change that way, but you can hopefully nudge a few people in the right direction, and maybe it'll happen.
Yeah, I mean, this isn't really a question that gets to the heart of the debate, but it's something I think we can agree on about the abuses of, whether it's a religious or a secular holiday. It's turn into something that neither of us would want to endorse. But, all of those games that you used to do with your family, and they sound really fun, and I'm jealous that I didn't do those sorts of things. They are still sort of emphasizing the gift at the end, right?
I spent $5 and they were little toy action figures.
But they're still sort of getting your brother all hyped up about popping those balloons and getting his little action figures.
Yeah, but there's a difference between having a gift that takes 5 hours to get to and then giving someone a TV because they wrote it on a piece of paper saying they want a TV.
Yeah, I suppose I would concede that it does sort of emphasize the value of the gift as opposed to unwrapping it in 5 seconds.
Yeah,
where's my next gift? You appreciate and you savor each present. So yes, but the present's still at the center of the experience.
I don't have issues with presents. I have an issue with like people quantifying exactly what they get. So like I don't